moving business forward.
Welcome to another exciting package of the VTN Business Delite. And if you're just joining us once again, welcome. My name is Priska Shemeka, and if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Kindly hit on the subscribe button, and also do not forget to hit on the bell icon so you can get a notification anytime we upload a new interview. This week we're bringing you another industry player. Sit back, relax yourself while we unfold the details.
VTN Business Delite, moving business forward.
In continuation with our report on the maritime industry, with me on the program is one of the frontline players. He is the MD CEO of Petromario Limited, in the person of Mr. Sonny Eja. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Can you give us a brief background of Petromario Limited?
Petromario Nigeria Limited is a wholly indigenous company. We commenced operations in 2014. We started business skeletally in 2013, but we commenced operations fully in 2014. The objective and the aims of Petromario to get into business was to ensure that we provide employment opportunities for Nigeria, contribute to the Nigerian oil and gas sector, engaging in capacity building, competency development, training and retraining, and skills acquisition. Today we have partnerships with a couple of the IOCs and other Nigerian entities that are playing in the Nigerian oil and gas sector. Today also we have some partnership with a foreign company in order to promote and grow our business as well. Petromario Nigeria Limited is 2 years old, but today we have taken giant strides in ensuring that we become one of the major players in the industry. The future looks very bright for us. Like the saying goes, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. And so we have taken that step already, and we are looking at making sure that we achieve our goals and set objectives in the next couple of years to come.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, sir. Can you tell us about SWAN and what are its objectives?
Well, SWAN, as the name implies, is the Ship Owners Association of Nigeria, and this comprises of ship owning companies in Nigeria. From what I know about SWAN, it's a body that has come together to bring indigenous companies that own ships and vessels in Nigeria with proven track records, as the case may be, that are actively engaged in activities in the upstream and downstream sectors of the Nigerian economy. And SWAN today, SWAN has just been barely a year or so old, but its impact is already being felt in the maritime sector, in the oil and gas sector. And one of the core objectives of this association is to promote interests of members that belong to SWAN, and to provide a forum for dialogue as well also. Well, it's equally set up primarily to promote and to cultivate dialogue within amongst the government agencies and regulatory bodies and all that. For me, I think SWAN, in its short existence, has really done tremendously well.
Thank you very much, sir, for that in-depth response. Where do you hope to see this association in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, with set objectives and goals of this association, and without any shadow of doubt, I want to believe that in the next 2 years, I'm not going to speculate 5 years, I want to see in the next 2 years, SWAN will be one body that would be very relevant in this country, not just in Nigeria but internationally also. You recall that sometime last year, SWAN had an active representation in the Commonwealth Forum, that held in Malta. And with this, SWAN has been built up there in the not just locally but internationally as well also. A lot of companies, a lot of organizations are already identifying with SWAN. And like I said, I have no doubt in my mind that in the next 2 or 3 years, SWAN will get to where we actually want to be.
Thank you very much, sir. As a stakeholder in the industry, how would you appraise the development in the maritime industry in Nigeria?
Well, I would say that certain things have been done, certain achievements have been recorded, but a lot still needs to be done. Our government needs to invest more in the maritime sector. The IOCs as well also need to invest more in the sector as well, because today we are not where we should be. The sector is still today dealt with so many issues and factors that are affecting the sector, and I think the government needs to pay more attention to this sector, because look, whether we like it or not, maritime with the oil and gas sector will go hand in hand with each other. And like we know, the oil sector contributes 9% to the GDP of this country, and so it's a sector that cannot be overlooked. It's a sector that needs so much attention. And so with the maritime sector also, with all the activities that are going on within the sector, I want to say that the government needs to invest more in this sector. Once the government is able to do that, then economic activities would surge in the country.
Thank you very much, sir. So how would you assess the operations of the MASA?
The MASA is a body that the government has set up, all right, and for me, the MASA has fared well thus far. And like I said about the maritime sector, the MASA too can do much more than what they are doing. Because today, I'm sure you're aware of the CVFF funds, that are statutory requirements by the government, and this funds go to the MASA. And the MASA needs to do more with utilization of these funds. One in the area of security as well, in the area of having to assist indigenous companies to grow to the level they want to grow. So I won't underscore them. I would say they've done well thus far, but they still need to do more. We need to feel their impact. As a sector, we need to feel the impact of the MASA. Feeling their impact in the sense that, we need to see exactly what they're doing. Like I talked about the funds, the area of security as well also, the MASA has to do more to provide security in the Nigerian waters and all that, because most often than not, we have all the pirate attack. One of our vessels was attacked a few months ago, and that's where we need to feel the impact of the MASA. Security deployment, to curtail the activities of this pirate, and so that's why I'm saying that the MASA will still have to do much more than what they are doing today.
Thank you so much, sir. So how would you score the Nigerian Shippers Council?
Shippers Council, today I probably give them a pass mark. I'm not going to give them an excellent mark. It's still part of the agencies of government that needs to make its impact felt in Nigeria. And so I'll give them a pass mark for today.
So sir, can you tell us a bit about Cabotage Act law?
Well, the Cabotage Act, otherwise known as the Coastal and Inland Shipping Act, which was enacted in 2003, right, was designed to restrict foreign participation in Nigerian domestic coastal trade. The objective of this act is primarily to reserve the commercial transportation of goods and services within Nigerian coastal and inland waters to vessels. Having said that, that doesn't, a lot of opportunities still abound for foreign investments and foreign involvement also. And so the act also is primarily to encourage indigenous shipping lines to participate in the coastal and inland sector of the economy. Today, that act has, would I say, given some advantages to indigenous companies as ours, because before now, a lot of foreign companies were dominant in this industry, in the sector. I mean, you had like 95% or up to 99% of foreign companies that dominated activities in this industry, in this sector. But today, with that act, companies like us can thrive and can exist. And if we stay true to our dreams, then we'll probably achieve our set goals. And so the Capital Act has really helped Nigerian companies, Nigerian entities, to become major players in the industry. I mean, I'm sure the NTDMB is on one side also. I mean, that Act 2 has really helped Nigerian companies, Nigerian entities like us, to be where we are today, to become major players in this field, to become major players in this industry, and to ensure that we partner with the IOCs, because it's a government regulation, it's a government act, and the IOCs and all other agencies have to fall into line with that act as well.
Thank you so much, sir. So how would you appraise the operations of the Local Content Act?
Well, NTDMB, without any question, has done well. I mean, since the act was enacted in 2010 by the Good Luck administration. I mean, I talked earlier on a bit about NTDMB. Today, NTDMB has done very well. I mean, I'll give them more than a pass mark in terms of the achievements they've recorded. Local content is something that has come to stay, which is one of the things NTDMB starts to propagate and starts to ensure that, okay, these things are in place. And so, NTDB, for me, if the vision, if the motive for which it's been settled, it's sustained. I mean, thus far it's been sustained. Thus far they've stayed through to the aims and objectives of NTDB being settled. And if it's sustained to a level that we'll have entirely local participation and local development in the local content development in this country. 10 years ago, who would have, I mean, like most of the IOCs would not even listen to us as local players. 10 years ago, nobody wants to identify with a local company. But today, with that Local Content Act, I mean, we can beat our chest anywhere in the world to say that, look, we are players in this industry. That's one of the achievements of the government, and even with the present administration, I won't believe that more attention and more focus will be put on NTDMB to ensure that Nigerian companies are given preferential treatment. Because look, I say this all the time, this is one environment that we need to up our game, if I have to use that word. For other environments, other countries, some foreign companies don't have it as easy as foreign companies have it in Nigeria here. And so I'm particularly happy to the government for this act, the NTDMB, the Local Content Act, and we'll do everything to take advantage of the Local Content Act.
Thank you so very much for that in-depth response.
VTN Business Delite, moving business forward.
What would you say are the opportunities and prospects of the maritime industry in Nigeria?
Well, the prospects are there. I mean, I talked earlier on about capacity development. I talked earlier on about job opportunities for Nigerians. I talked earlier on, I mean, the opportunities for seafarers as well also. Today, if I want probably to go back to the MASA, we have Maritime Academy in Oron that I don't think it's being funded as it should be. Okay, and so I would love to see a situation where the government, you know, with the MASA in collaboration, it's either they do more to fund and to develop that academy, or to set up another academy while not taking off their eyes on, I mean, from the Maritime Academy around, to see how we can develop seafarers. I mean, these are going to be young Nigerians that will come out to contribute significantly to the maritime sector. Now, in terms of shipping opportunities, I mean, partnering with the IOCs, a lot still abounds. Today the market is down, but we still believe that the market will rebound. And in no distant time, we're going to see activities pick up again. So there are a whole lot of opportunities there, job creation, development of our youth, employment opportunities. There are a lot more. And so with all this, you probably would see a situation where, that will contribute significantly to the development of our country in all sectors.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So how would you assess the role of the banks in the financing of maritime business?
The banks, I'm always, I smile whenever this question comes up because, the banks have done the very best they can do, but I would equally say that because of the operating environment, the banks are a bit skeptical, the banks are a bit rigid, if I have to use that word. Sometimes I hear our bankers to say that if I need something from the banks, I could be asked to go and bring my grandmother from the village. So it just tells you the extent to which the banks are so rigid. They want so much comfort around them. And to a large extent, I don't want to blame them, like I said, it has to do with the environment because a lot of times, so many occasions, they've got their fingers burnt. And for some Nigerians that are not true to themselves, some Nigerians that will go and get facilities, and at the end of the day, those facilities become very bad credit and bad loans, and the banks are the ones that bear the brunt of it. Equally, if you want to tie it to our sector, take for instance, I engage the banks to get a facility to build one new vessel. In most cases, it's tied to a contract. But let's say the contract suffers an early termination. I have obligations to the banks and all that.
So, sir, how would you appraise the taxation regime of government with particular reference to the maritime industry in Nigeria?
For the tax, okay, because oftentimes we say that we are being taxed, but we don't see what the tax is being used for. In the developed countries, taxes are paid, and you see what they're being used for. You have the goods, you have 247 power supply. You turn on the taps, the water is flowing, not provided by individuals but by government and all that. Those are all the things, the benefit of an effective taxation system that is in place. Back home here, the government has really tried in recent years to ensure that, okay, companies and individuals pay tax. In the sector here, we remit our taxes as a when we are not defaulting. I don't think any other company in this industry is defaulting in remitting taxes also. Earlier on I talked about the 2% that is being paid to, whether you like it or it's some form of tax that is being paid to NIMASA. 1% is paid to NCDMB and all that. Okay. And for every company that is operating in the oil and gas sector, you have to, it's deducted at source. It doesn't even come to me when payment is being made. But how well have we utilized these taxes? Company income taxes, we are paying it on a yearly basis and all that. Individual, personal taxes, we are remitting as a when due, both to FIRS and to Lagos State and our revenue service and all that. But how well have these taxes been utilized to the benefit of the masses, to the benefit of the companies operating here, Nigerian companies, so to speak, and all that. So, for me, I think the government needs to take a closer look again at our taxation.
So much, sir. Thank you very much. So, briefly, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
My name is Sonny Aja. I come from Cross River State. I'm a Christian. I'm married with 3 boys. Yeah, and I have a first degree in communication and I have an MBA as well also. Started my working career a couple of years back and previously worked with a logistics company, one of the biggest in the world, FedEx. I had worked with FedEx before that, and I spent about 10 years working with FedEx and all that before I had to do a different kind of logistics, which today I'm doing marine logistics and all that. I'm a Christian and I live a very simple life. Right?
So how do you spend your leisure? How do you spend your leisure time when you're working?
When I'm not working, I mean, I believe in this principle of you work hard and you play hard, right? And I do both. So when I'm not working, I play. And play in the sense that, I mean, I could go to the club to play tennis. I do a bit of swimming as well, also, just to keep fit. I equally hang out with my friends, contacts, just to unwind, because look, whatever we are laboring for, if you're not healthy, you can't enjoy whatever stress you've gone through. I love traveling as well, but I mean, when it's convenient, I do that. I equally play football. I play Scrabble as well, also. Right. And at home, I mean, I watch football a lot because of the club I support. So I mean, whenever they are playing, I support Arsenal. So I'm always looking forward to watching Arsenal play. I actually read a lot also. I love reading literatures. I mean, I read why? Because I need to be informed. So in my leisure time, I try to combine all this. I might just, okay, today this is what I'm going to do, tomorrow that's what I'm going to do. And I think, though it does reduce significantly, but I still, on Friday nights, I still club. So, that's still part of the ways I just trying to expend time when I'm not working and all that.
Wonderful, thank you very much. That was the question I would like to ask you. What would you consider your priceless possession?
My what?
Priceless
Possession,
yes.
You don't need to ask that again. My wife.
Wow.
After God, it's my wife. Because the thing is, you can make all the money in the world. You can assume that you're successful. In addition to that, my wife and my kids. Let me put it that way. Yeah. My wife and my kids. Because you can make all the money in the world. You can be as successful as you think you are. But if your family is not in order, you're a failure. And that's my opinion. Other people might differ, but that's my honest opinion on that. If you don't, and that's why, no matter how busy I am, I still find time to spend with them because it's very key. Somebody once said that you can give a woman the whole world, give her most of luxury cars, send her on trips to expensive locations and all that, buy her the costliest of jewelries and dresses and everything. But that's not the most important thing she needs as a wife. As a wife, what she needs is you, the husband. And that's the most important thing that she needs in her life. Because if she could have all that and she doesn't have it, then she's not happy. It's worthless.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
We'll see you until you know the light, sir. I don't even want to stop doing that. Thank you very much, sir, for having us.
Thank you very much also for your
so
time.
Thank
And
you.
it was a nice time with you and your team. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wish you the best.
All right.
And that's about it on this week's package of the VTN Business Delight. Trust you enjoyed it. Please do join us next week for another industry player, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel. I still remain your host, Priska Chemika. See you next week.